Time for a teardown then, or a disassembly as I like to call them. Turbo twister. Picked it up in the recycling centre. I don't see a brand name on it anywhere. Unless that's it, UKD. UKD Turbo Twister. It's probably fairly generic. There's lots of this sort of toy car about. So, I'll take the batteries back out again. That was the rechargeable nickel metal hydride. 4 AA's, 4.8 volts, 500 milliamp hour. Right, there's no screws in there. I suspect when we get it apart we'll find there's a broken gear on the steering, because it seems to jam as we try spinning it round. Something's holding it. Screw holes in there. Nope. What am I missing? Something obvious. Let's take the wheels off anyway. Looks like there's a clip around here somewhere. Let's take these off as well. Screw holes hidden under here. off. More screws. Right, so motor and gearbox. Don't know if that's supposed to be loose. Let's have a look, see if it's got any springs underneath it. That's a handy little gearbox anyway, so that's worth having. Remember, this cost me virtually nothing. There's a bunch of items that cost me £1 altogether from the recycling centre. Right, so that's our motor and gearbox. Bit of free hair thrown in with it. What size is that motor? I suppose that happens to be the same size as the one I've just burnt out in that other car. They look remarkably similar, don't they? That could be handy. They do look very similar, don't they? That might be worth a try. Anyway, so we've got motor, gearbox. Battery box. Receiver. That's the extra bit of wire I added on because the antenna looked a bit short. So pull that off. On-off switch. Let's all disconnect that. Okay, so that bit of bodywork is free. Can't disconnect that because that wire is in the way. Ah, that says 40 megahertz. Maybe that's why I was having trouble controlling it. Ha! Right, everything stopped for a minute. Right, let's plug this one back in again. That way up. Switch it on. Try 40 megahertz. Yep, motor's running. That's a very quiet motor. So, despite the fact it said 27 on the back of it, there, when we get it apart, it's a 40 megahertz receiver. Oh, there you go. Learn something every day. But I'll still finish taking it apart because I'm going to use this for spare parts. How do we get that off? There's a screw under there, I think. Yep. Right, so we've got a little circuit board there with some LEDs on it. Expect that will lift off, yeah, there we go. That's the steering, which is spinner steering. Plug that back in again a second. That's clunking around a bit. It may be a bit slow, it may be that battery's running down again. Should we have a look in here? Yeah, we've got some broken teeth there, I think. How does this come apart? Screw, screw. At least 2 screws. Doesn't suddenly want to come apart. There's got to be more screws in it. Yes, there we go. Still doesn't want to come apart. Oh, that is a screw. I don't actually see any broken teeth there. I think they might be broken down there. Pull that shaft out. Yes, that's the one that's broken. Can we see that? Got at least 2 teeth missing there and another one there, so we're not going to be doing any steering with this one. But we've got some nice flashing LEDs and another motor. I would assume that one's going to be lower power than that one. Oh yes, you can see they're different sizes. So that might be handy for trying to repair the Revel Lion radio control car, because that's the same size motor. That's not much use to anybody with those broken gears there. That one looks okay. That one looks okay. Gearbox looks okay, but I'm going to pinch the motor anyway. Do we want to look inside? I suppose we could do. It's only going to be a little reduction gear thing. I suppose I'll clean that hair off. There we go. 3 reduction gears. So, small gear on the motor drives that one. On the back of there's a small gear that drives that one. On the back of there's a small gear that drives that one. So that looks okay. I will put that back together because that might come in handy at some time in the future. Into my box of bits. So there we go. I don't know what the make was, unless it was a, whatever I said, U something D. To cut that off with a knife, I think. Yep, that'll do. I'm happy with that. A couple of motors, gearbox, a few spare gears, and it looks like we've got a nice working 40 megahertz receiver with flashing LEDs. The one thing I'm surprised about was I thought there might have been a charging plug to charge the battery while it's plugged in, because I was looking at the bodywork and there was actually a sort of a gap on one side, as if there ought to have been a charger go up in there. Yeah, that's the on-off switch, and on that side that's where I think there should be a charger port. DC 6 volts it says there, to go in there. But there's nothing hanging off the circuit board. Alright, I'll box that up and put it in the scrap box.
Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily, so don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.